blackmail, sabotage, and betrayal. The Amber Papers, today on Amber This Week. Hello, fellow listeners. Welcome to the program. Information reaching my desk is Cameroon has arrested a citizen of Norway of Ambazonian descent. What is the reason for that arrest? Cameroon is demanding the repatriation of Dr. Lucas Cho Ayaba, the leader of the Ambazonian War of Independence, back to Cameroon in exchange for the Norwegian citizen of Ambazonian descent. For many years, the Cameroonian government has tried their best to put hands on the leader of the War of Independence because he challenged the status quo. He told the people of Ambazonia, you can only defeat Cameroon method for method, block by block. For the first time in Cameroon, Paul Biya faced a major challenge that can cause the fall of his government and the CPDM hegemony in the country. Dr. Lucas Cho Ayaba is not a Norwegian citizen. He is a resident of Norway. As a European citizen, Dr. Lucas Cho Ayaba of German nationality can settle with his family wherever he deemed appropriate to settle. That is why he's found in Norway. The Norwegian government cannot repatriate a German citizen back to Cameroon. Cameroon is not Dr. Lucas Cho Ayaba's country. He is a citizen of Germany. Attacks from all over the place on Dr. Lucas Cho Ayaba's person. We find people attacking him, claiming that he embezzles money, takes the money raised for the revolution and war of independence, and buys houses. They forget to know Dr. Lucas Cho Ayaba has always been a businessman, having countless companies, employing Norwegian citizens, paying taxes to the Norwegian government. He is a self-employed man, businessman, who employs people, even citizens of Europe. As we can see, the stance on baseless allegations of some so-called activists who work for the Cameroonian regime is baseless.
They will be crushed.
Dr. Lucas Cho Ayaba is the most honest and transparent man that have ever existed in Ambazonia. Letters that he wrote to the people of Ambazonia and to the soldiers fighting for independence in Ambazonia were forged by other platforms working for Cameroon, like Beta Things. We find they came up with other writings that were not written by Dr. Cho's hands, just to implicate him in this war of independence. But it still was debunked by all the nationalist activists of the struggle. Today, many people are asking the question, what is the true situation of our leader of independence, Dr. Cho Ayaba? Ambazonian nationalists spoke with the Chief of Staff of the Ambazonia Governing Council, Mr. Nkem Jinkeng, and he gives direct first-hand information on what is the situation of our leader. In this short interview, we will hear what he has to say about the situation in Norway and our leader's condition. Mr. Nkem Jinkeng, welcome to the program, sir. What is the situation with the leader of the War of Independence, Dr. Lucas Cho Ayaba?
The situation of the CIC has not changed since his arrest and detention at the Oslo prison. He's not been indicted, though all of the restrictions that were placed during his detention have been uplifted. And so we can now visit the Dr. Cho Ayaba in prison and have an open conversation with him without any restriction. That's the situation at the moment.
Information from the Vice President, Dr. Nyi, in his outing on the 8th of April, claims Cameroon has sent emissaries to Dr. Lucas Cho Ayaba to talk with him or dialogue on possible ways to stop the crisis. I don't know if that is true or not.
Yes, as stated by the Vice President, Cameroon is doing everything to reach out to Dr. Cho Ayaba. And Cameroon is using the Norway and its proxies to try to reach out to Dr. Cho Ayaba, maybe to find a middle point. But as you heard from the leader's address to the nation last week, he made it very clear that there will be no compromising with Cameroon, nothing short of independence. And so they may keep approaching but we've also made it very clear to them that they should return to Canada and resume talks that were ongoing in Canada.
What do you think is their agenda as they keep trying to reach the leader of the War of Independence? And you have just said the Ambazonia Governing Council's position is nothing short of independence.
Of course, we understand that their effort of reaching out, their agenda is simply to get try to bring back normalcy, according to them, because that's what they want to prove to the international community, that they are trying to talk to us. And so things are also getting normalizing back down in the territory, which is not the case. And as I promise you, the president is not ready to compromise an inch as long as the independent quest for Ambazonia is concerned.
What is the main reason Dr. Cho Ayaba was arrested? What do you think is the main reason he was arrested?
Good question. When the Norwegian arrested picked up Dr. Cho Ayaba from his home, claims were that they were arresting him for possible crimes against humanity, and claimed that they had up to 51% evidence that he might have committed crimes against humanity as far as fighting is concerned down on the territory in Ambazonia. That's still not possible, as I said, up to now. They've not been able, the claims that they've been making are all frivolous and not concrete enough to indict Dr. Cho Ayaba. So the Norwegians themselves are caught in a dilemma, whether to let Dr. Cho go or go further to indict him. But indict him on what? That's the question.
Cripples and the Norwegian state prosecutor are accused by many as being an extension of the French colonial agenda in Africa. Many say it is evident that the Cripples is corrupt and the state prosecutor has been bribed by France to keep Dr. Cho Ayaba indefinitely incarcerated. What's your take on that?
Yes, circumstances surrounding the arrest of Dr. Cho Ayaba raises a lot of eyebrows. Are the Norwegians intentionally extending, aiding the French in their colonial agenda in Africa? One may be tempted to say yes, as far as circumstances surrounding the arrest of Dr. Cho Ayaba is concerned. We've never seen in a situation where in a crisis the victim is the one to be picked up first. We expected the Norwegians to be able to have press on the Bier government and possibly even drag them to International Court of Justice for crimes against humanity, and not instead facing Dr. Cho Ayaba, leader of the Ambazonia Liberation War, who have been doing all just to defend the land and its people. And so we really think they are intentionally extending a hand of support to the French as far as genocide is concerned in Ambazonia. For the question of the cripples, the Norwegian secret police being bribed, that I cannot testify. There's no such evidence of them being bribed by the Cameroon government, but nothing is impossible in this situation. It may be directly or indirectly that the cripples or the government in Norway is being compensated for the arrest of Dr. Cho Ayaba. After all, the Cameroon government is a plus for them. If Dr. Cho is not out there and active, they may think it's a way of quelling down the liberation struggle. But definitely they cannot keep him there forever. They will not be able to keep Dr. Cho forever. They've been keeping Dr. Cho Ayaba for the past 6 months without being able to indict him. At some point, we think the legal team of Dr. Cho Ayaba are going to get to the offensive. They must be able to show proof of crimes against humanity, indict him, or let him go free. That is what we look forward in the coming days, weeks, and probably months. My personal take is that the Norwegians secret service or cripples are capable of doing anything for the very fact that they decided to arrest a freedom fighter, a liberation leader in the midst of a war is indicative of something not being right. And so there is everything possible that the Secret Service could have been bribed directly or indirectly. Contracts with Cameroon, one could be asking those questions. There's a big possibility that they are being compensated with contracts to carry out business in Cameroon.
Is the Norwegian government or people aware of what's going on? Or are they involved in the French mafia? We all know Norway prides itself as a bastion for freedom and human rights. Do you think they are helping France in the neo-colonial agenda in Africa? Amazonia, for example.
Well, the Norwegian must have found themselves caught up in the French mafia unconsciously. But as would say, I'm for pigeon, kumkum don't tight for their hand. They get hot kumkum for their hand. They don't know whether for chop the kumkum or for throw the kumkum. If they chop the kumkum, it go burn them for inside their belly. If they throw the kumkum, the world go laugh at Norway that Norway arrested someone without grounds for arresting a freedom fighter, and after a couple of months have decided to release him. So this is the dilemma that Norway find themselves in. They don't know whether to release him, they don't know whether to continue keeping him, but if they want to keep him, on what grounds? This is a French mafia, and they're in. The notion of the Norwegian priding themselves as flag bearer for the oppressed people, standing for human rights, has been rubbished by their act, arresting a freedom fighter who has committed no crime. For 6 months, the Norwegians have not been able to show proof of crime committed by Dr. Cho Ayaba. They've not been able to link him up to what they describe as crime against humanity. And so it becomes questionable if really priding themselves as flag bearer of the oppressed people is something what being given to them. Are there? No, I don't see them being. The Norwegians cannot pride themselves as flag bearer of the oppressed people and that they care about human rights when thousands of people have been killed in Amazonia, and Norway is unable to raise a finger to defend the armless civilians in Amazonia that have been killed by Cameroon, villages burned down. Where does Norway come in? Where does Norway really come in? And so I disagree with them continuously priding themselves as being the bastion for democracy and human rights.
Based on the situation now, from what you've explained, do you think that the leader of the War of Independence will be released anytime soon?
Yes, I can guarantee Amazonians that Dr. Cho would definitely be released. It is a question of time how soon that I cannot indicate. But as I said earlier, the legal team will begin going on the offensive for the Norway and its government to be able to indict Dr. Cho Ayaba or release him. We cannot just keep him indefinitely. And so Dr. Cho Ayaba has committed no crime against humanity. And so Amazonian people should be confident that their leader at some point in time is going to be released.
My last question, Chief of Staff, is what do you have to say about Ngong Daniel's write-up accusing Dr. Cho Lucas of using the funds raised for war and defense of the people of Amazonia to build a house or buy property, living lavishly? What do you have to say about that?
Yes,
thank you for bringing up the issue on the write-up made out there by Ngong Emmanuel alias Capo Daniel. The entire write-up makes me laugh because Ngong Emmanuel is so stupid and thinks that everybody is as stupid and dumb as himself. He picks up a court proceeding and gives his own interpretation of it and put it out there for Ambazonians to consume, completely changing the subject matter. And vulnerable Ambazonians fall for it without reading through and asking themselves questions. In the court proceedings, Dr. Ayaba Cho himself mentioned owning a home worth 6.4 Norwegian kroner, 6.4 million Norwegian kroner, which is almost an equivalent of $600,000. So it was not an investigation by the Norwegian authorities. No, he himself made that declaration in court and asked the court that they could even use his home as security. Now, he gives the impression also that I think a comrade Akbo Derek has given a lot of explanation that I don't need to be going into them again. Owning a home of 6.4 million Norwegian kroner is not a lavish life. It's a standard home. Or was Mr. Ngong Emmanuel expecting Dr. Cho Ayaba to be homeless? No, he's not homeless. He's a working class personality living a normal life in Norway. And the present house they are talking about, Dr. Cho Ayaba had owned a house before then. He sold a house and could raise sufficient capital to get a bigger house. And Ngong Emmanuel is so stupid to be talking about someone being unemployed, yet own a home. No, if you are unemployed, the bank is not going to give you the loan to own a house. In the document, it is even stated that Dr. Cho is a sole proprietor to a company. Ambazonians won't read this. I mean the vulnerable Ambazonians. I mean the Cambazonians who want to twist this out to please their own ego. I mean the anti-Ayabas. They are going to refuse to read the aspect of it that Dr. Cho is self-employed. And they go about propagating that he was not working in Norway. No, he worked right up to the last day that he was picked up. And his company is still running. So it's just a piece of crap that a stupid person like Capo Daniel is going to pick it up and try to give the wrong impression to the public. And since there are Cambazonians out there that want to consume such trash, they're going to immediately pick it and be making useless propaganda about it. Again, Dr. Cho, this document is a court proceedings with statement made by Dr. Cho himself. And as Comrade Agbo said, these are not petty things that the Norwegian investigative authorities are going to engage trying to bring out, probably to create a blackmail. These are declarations made by Dr. Cho himself. And Ambazonians should be wise and stop following Cameroon agents implanted in this struggle, like the Capo, that he has proven beyond every doubt that he is working for Cameroon. Ambazonians must stay away from him and get their facts and do their own investigation rather than believing in things that people write and drop out there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Comrade Nkem Jinke, Chief of Staff of the Ambazonia Governing Council.
Thank you again for having me on your platform, and we hope we'll be having this chat again, time and again. Thank you very much.
Information is France and Cameroon are looking for a way to solve the Ambazonian question, for they fear that the courage that we have given the people of La République du Cameroun can cause Cameroon to split into two. The Grand North against the Bulu Beti who are in leadership in Cameroon. Cameroon might dive into a civil war that may never end, ending up splitting the country. France tries to play abracadabra in order to calm the problems in Amazonia so they can make peace in Cameroon. Information reaching us is France is trying to put an Anglophone as president, changing the constitution, replacing the post of prime minister with the vice president in the country. The stakes are high as Ambazonia forces keep hitting hard on Cameroonian positions. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ambazonia forces united in Donga took out this military position and barracks that was put in place in Gabu. The future is bright. This is Amber This Week. See you next edition.
2 pips of sugar is a water. It never melt a boy. It never melt a boy.